Welcome to Card Corner. These are the cards, that's the corner. Today I've got these Terminator 2 Judgment Day stickers by Topps. I think I paid a little bit more than 25 cents for them, but thought they'd be cool to check out. Terminator 2 is, of course, one of the most renowned action movies of the 80s, and it's definitely one of those movies for me that I can just throw on whenever. Zone out, kind of like Jurassic Park or Star Wars. Mankind's enemy. It is the Terminator. Here's the battering van. Oh, it does have stuff on the back. They're stickers, but they've got backs. Terminator commandeers a SWAT van and crashes it into the lobby, scattering cops. Sarah and John manage to leap in as their rescuer hits the throttle. The van roars across the lobby and exits through the blown out windows. Not sure what this means. The armed options input tracking. I guess it's meant to resemble one of the things in, like when you go in first person Terminator view. All right, here we get Arnold holding the T-1000's arm behind his back. Terminator, Sarah, John, and Miles Dyson have their hands full warding off attacks by SWAT troopers who have descended upon Cyberdyne. The T-1000, still disguised as a cop, arrives at the scene and blends in easily. All right, pretty sweet Arnold card there. It is Guardian of Tomorrow. In 1997, aware that its human creators were about to disconnect it, Skynet, then in control of U.S. defense, sent missiles against Russia. This is what triggered Judgment Day. A horrified Miles Dyson smashes all records and materials connected with the project. It's probably the best card so far. And Big Ripping Pursuit. As John flees on his bike, a giant truck driven by the T-1000 crashes through a fence and launches itself in his direction. It crashes down 15 feet to the ground, going about 60, hitting at an angle and tearing into the concrete wall with a hideous grinding of metal. Ooh. Escaping on his bike. I think out of the first pack, this Arnold portrait is the best one. Unfortunately, the first card in each of the packs seems to have gotten glue on it. We've got to rescue Mom. Even the high five. It's a cute one. Reasoning that his mother may be T-1000's next victim, John Connor demands that Terminator accompany him to the mental hospital where she is imprisoned. More than a machine. Holding that gun all cool. Unlike many of today's action films, Terminator 2 Judgment Day is a dark science fiction parable with rare sensitivity. Terminator, initially an instrument of destruction, becomes a young boy's guardian and ultimately a machine who can feel real emotion. I also really liked the first Terminator where Arnold was the bad guy. No problemo. Totally unaffected by their tear gas, Terminator emerges from the smoke and takes on the entire SWAT battalion. Without killing anyone, he remembers his promise to John. The cyborg easily overwhelms his stunned antagonists. All right, here is a young John Connor. Pretty good portrait of him there. A boy forced by his mother to grow up in a hurry, young John, Edward Furlong, finds he is the target of an artificial assassination from the year 2029, sent back in time to destroy the future leader of the resistance. It's a pretty good shot of him on the back there, too. All right, and last card in that pack is I Need a Vacation. Another puzzle. All right, I guess the John Connor one was probably the best one in that pack. All right, here is Sarah Connor, The Deception. Cleverly changing tactics, the T-1000 assumes the form of Sarah Connor and tries to deceive John, but the boy figures out what is happening and dives aside. The T-1000 is blown back by the real Sarah's gunfire and Terminator rejoins the battle. Top one got the residue again. Warrior Out of Time. Badly damaged by the T-1000 but enriched by his fellowship with young John Connor, Terminator stalks through the steel mill and prepares for a final all-out assault against his form-changing enemy. All right, Not So Friendly Persuasion. Sarah finds that she cannot kill Miles Dyson. John and Terminator show up at his home, and Dyson is convinced of their story. The only way to prevent Judgment Day is to get into Cyberdyne now and destroy everything pertaining to the special project. Investing the Behemoth. Out of control, the tanker trailer driven by the T-1000 slides on its side at 60 miles per hour towards an approaching steel mill. It crashes through the building and releases a flood of liquid nitrogen. Terminator, still clutching his M79, rolls off the overturned tanker. Yeah, this is definitely a set full of those moment-style cards. Not too many characters, it would seem. A Final Farewell. This is where he like sinks into the giving the thumbs up. Terminator, who has learned about compassion from his human friends, hurls himself into the flaming pit to keep the world from gleaning potentially destructive information about him from him. Judgment Day is averted and humanity has a second chance. Also got the cool picture of him there. All right, that's a good one. I might have to try to wash the residue off this one, but it's hasta la vista, baby. Sarah runs out of ammo, but Terminator doesn't. He blows a hole clear through the T-1000's body, and the liquid metal assassin topples into a pit of molten steel. Silver runs in dissipating whirls over the superheated surface until the T-1000 vanishes, swirling into nothing. Nice. All right, here he is in search of John, riding that motorcycle. The reprogrammed Terminator arrives in present-day Los Angeles, appropriates a motorcycle from a startled biker, and sets out in search of young John Connor, who now lives with his foster parents. Road Warriors. In a car chase. It's a pretty cool shot. After crashing the chopper into the back of the escaping SWAT van, the T-1000 steals a tanker truck and closes in on our heroes, who are now tearing away in a small pickup. The tanker rams the back of the pickup, sending it skidding. Adult John Connor. It's a nice portrait there, too. Oh, no information. All right, here is LA 2029. This is where they're fighting the robots. In this nightmare world of the future, human troops engage in desperate combat with advanced machines for possession of the dead Earth. Right, the endoskeleton of a Series 800 Terminator. Yikes. Ooh. So I do like that they went the extra mile, even though they're stickers, to make them basically cards. It says you can peel them, but I won't. All right, here we get saving Sarah from herself. Sarah Connor takes off on her own to assassinate Miles Dyson, head of Cyberdyne Systems, the lab responsible for developing a revolutionary type of microprocessor which ultimately results in the machine takeover of Earth. I have to say, I think that people are generally too, they think that like AI is going to result in this singularity that takes over the world. Personally, I find those fears to be overblown, but I guess that's just me. All right, here is the Terminator. That is a character card if I've ever seen one. Cyberdyne Systems Model 101. 35 years from now, it was reprogrammed by the adult John Connor to travel back in time and protect 10-year-old John from a more advanced Terminator, the T-1000, also sent back in time. It's probably the best one out of all of them so far. And that is a stacked pack because we also get the T-1000, the bad guy. That's going to go in my villains binder for sure. A more advanced model than the original Terminator, the T-1000, Robert Patrick, is a liquid metal warrior, a mercury man that can alter its appearance and assume the form of unsuspecting human victims. Nice. It's a good pack. The T-1000's aerial exit. The T-1000 blasts through a second-story window, airborne on its motorcycle. It rockets across the gap to a hovering helicopter and slams into the canopy. Seconds later, the pilot is hurled out of his chopper, and the T-1000 resumes the chase. Programmed to protect. In director James Cameron's original 1984 film, Terminator was an android assassin sent through time to destroy Sarah Connor before she gave birth to John. He failed. In the new movie, another of his series is reprogrammed as John's protector in a spectacular struggle with a more advanced T-1000. All right, we got one more pack here, guys. I do think it's a pretty good set considering it was only 25 cents. Against the Mercury Man. Terminator lunges, slamming the T-1000 against a wall with all his weight. Then he grabs the Mercury Man and hurls it with awesome force against the opposite wall of a nearby alley. But the T-1000 doesn't give up so easily. Nice shot of him there. Losing some of his face. All right, Armed and Dangerous. Here we're looking at the Terminator parts. At Cyberdyne, Dyson shows John the hand and brain chip of the original Terminator. Information gleaned from these artifacts leads to the development of the Skynet computer system in 1997. Human decisions are removed from strategic defense, and the machines take over. That's just such a bad idea. Sarah faces death. Separated from Terminator and John in the steel mill, Sarah Connor finds herself cornered by the relentless T-1000. His left index finger elongates into a thin steel rod and pins her through the shoulder as the T-1000 prepares to kill her. Yeah, he's got that stabby finger. All right, here is a very good one too. It is I'll Be Back. I think that one's definitely, I'm going to save that one. Arnold Schwarzenegger returns to the role of an unstoppable cyborg from the future, reunited with Linda Hamilton, right, as the woman who knows what the future holds, directed by James Cameron. Yeah, that's a great one. And last but not least is A Date with Destiny. Terminator follows John Connor to a busy mall, carrying a large box filled with roses, which conceals a shotgun. Meanwhile, the T-1000 tracks his quarry through a maze of human traffic. All right, guys, that is the Terminator set. Let me know which cards you liked the most. For me, it was probably just these plain old regular character cards. At least they include some of them, even though most of them are indeed the moments. Let me know which one you like the best. Like this video if you enjoyed it a little bit, and subscribe if you want to see more trading card related nonsense. This was Card Corner opening these Terminator 2 Judgment Day stickers by Topps. Take it easy.